Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. I thought that this would be the reveal for the build I'm doing for Matt Brower, but unfortunately there's some things that didn't turn out the way I wanted him to, and I'm speaking specifically of the roof. But this is a full-length video of how I got to where I will show you at the end of this video. So far, I'm not going to call it a reveal, I'm just going to call it an update because it really isn't finished. When I do finish it, I will do the amended video. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with this video. It is quite long, so hang out, get yourself something to drink, and hang out, maybe even breakfast while you're watching the video or whatever. But anyhow, all of that being said, let's get on with the video. So stay tuned, and we will be right back. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF6951. Alright guys, now it's time for the next step on your layout. Trees! I have been dealing with Bob for 7 years now, and he does excellent work on his trees. So if you need some trees on your layout, check out Long Shadow's Trees. Tell him the Cuz sent you. Alright guys, we're getting ready to put some paint on this build that I'm doing for Matt. I did use this Rust-Oleum flat white primer, and it is good for plastics. It says so right on the can. And the color I decided we're going to do this is going to be this perfect gray. I know Matt said he thought he wanted green, but since I already did a green building for him, I decided to do it this way. Now also, if you're wondering what this loop is here on the top, is so I can lift it up and turn it around and put it up on an angle. Because I need to spray this on an angle, and I can do that all the way around the entire building like that. So, we'll start here on the front. Get him up there. Hopefully he'll stay. Come on. I think I better put something behind there. Alright guys, hang on, let me get this situated a little bit better. Alright guys, I got the ventilator motor going, and we're going to go ahead and do the first coat of this gray color. So let's see how this is going to work out. Alright guys, we're going to let that first coat dry and we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll probably hit it with a second coat. Stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, today we are going to try and see if we can actually do a wash on this floor that I'm trying to do. So I only have two color browns in my stockade of paints. One is brown oxide, which is this one. And the other is nutmeg brown, which is this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them a drop of each of these in these little containers here and add a little bit of thinner to them and see what they look like. The brown oxide, I'm assuming, is going to have a little bit more red in it. So let's see. We just want to put a drop in there. Okay. You're supposed to go down in the bottom there, buddy. Come on. Okay, and then we're going to take a little bit of this guy. Put a drop of him in there. Okay. And now, this is just an airbrush thinner that I mixed up a while back when I was doing some airbrushing. So we're just going to put a little bit in there. And a little bit in this one. And then we'll just go ahead and mix them up a little bit. I'm not looking for it to be painted. I'm looking for it to be stained like a wood floor. If this works, hey, you know what? That'd be pretty cool. All right, that one looks like it's mixed up pretty good. And we'll just turn the stick over, and we'll get this guy. I think I need to add just a bit more paint. Yeah, that one does look like nutmeg, that's for sure. Yeah, maybe not. Alright, so I got these two colors mixed up now. Let me see where I'm going to put that guy. And I don't know which one to use. I think I'll use the darker one, which is the oxide brown. No. I think the nutmeg is going to look better. So, you guys are experiencing this for the first time, along with me. So let's see how this is going to work out. I got just an old paintbrush here. I did mask it off in this Tamaya masking tape. Stuff's expensive, man, I'll tell you that right now. I don't know if I should maybe I should go in the opposite direction too, to kind of get it into the, so you can see the planks. Actually, I think it needs to be darker. But it looks like it might work. I think I just need to be a little bit darker. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and take the other color and go over it and see what that's going to look like. Hey! Do I know what I'm doing? No. Does it look like I know what I'm doing? No. But I think one thing I did forget was to get a paper towel. So let me go grab a paper towel. I'll be right back. Alright, so we don't want to see me, we want to see the project. Yeah, I don't know how much of that was not seen, but there we go. In case you guys missed it, I did take a couple of the colors here, and I did mix them in little mixing bowls here. And I did nutmeg first, and it was okay, but I want to see if I can get a little more brown. Yeah, I think it needs to be darker. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mess with this, and we'll see how it looks when I get done messing with it. Just trying to make it look like a wood floor, because that's what would be in this type of a depot. Yeah, I guess. See what it looks like when it dries. Alright, we'll be back. We're going to probably end this build in this video. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, so this is my attempt of making a wooden floor out of plastic. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it actually, up close you can see the spacing between the planks, but it's a detail that's never going to be seen anyhow, so I just wanted to see if I could do something like that, and it didn't work out too bad actually. I don't know how well you guys can see that. Anyhow, the next thing we're going to do, since he wanted the building green and I decided to do the building gray, I am going to give him the windows and doors in this holly branch green. It's a Walmart product. It's apple barrel. It's 50 cents for this thing. And I'm just going to brush it on. There's no sense in hooking up my airbrush just for these few little pieces right here. So we'll see how this is going to work out. I have it held down with some tape. Shaking the paint up as we speak right now. And I'll get you a little closer maybe. Like right there. And turn it around this way just a little bit. There you go. Alright. So I'm probably just going to use whatever's in the cap right now. Move this out of the way so I don't spill it. I have two brushes here. I don't know which one's going to work. I'm going to try this littler one first. And what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit off on that. And we'll go ahead and hit this with some paint. Yeah, this is a nice looking green. I like this. Yes sir. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so we'll just continue on. This building is getting very close to being done, fellas. And I'm sorry, Matt, that it has taken so long to get to it. But I think you'll be very happy with the finished product. I'm here to Alright guys, there you go. All painted up. It's a really nice color green. This could go nice with the gray. Anyhow, I'm going to do this, give this a second coat, but I'm not going to do that on camera. Only just to show you that I did paint it by brush. So we'll let this dry up and I'll hit it with a second coat a little later on. In the meanwhile, we're going to have to do some detailing on the foundation. I'm going to put some cracks in here and then we'll go ahead and mask this off, the wood that I just did, and paint the rest of this in another color gray. Anyhow, we'll be back in a little bit. Okay guys, as we continue on with this build for Matt, you can see I got the interior wall all completed. I got the door and window in there, I got the acetate, I got the roof on. I decided to do the roof in a metallic color. I don't know, just because that's the paint that I had. Anyhow, this fit really nice in the building and I painted both sides, as you can see. And the paint I used for the entire interior of the building is this here smoky beige, and it is a Rust-Oleum product. Worked out very well. And also, I did paint the windows and doors in this holly branch green. Matt, I know you said you wanted the building to be green, but I just didn't feel like doing a green building for you again. So what I did was I gave you lots of green as far as trim goes, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All the windows and doors have been painted in that green. And also, as a last minute bit thing, I decided to do is paint all the corbels and the structure for the corbels all painted. The windows in the ticket office are all painted. So this building pretty much is ready to be put together. The only thing I need to do right now is put some glazing in the windows, and I'm not going to do regular acetate on here. I am going to use this, what is this, Model Masters? Yeah, Model Masters Clear Parts Cement and Window Maker. Says it's a window maker. I've never made a window with it, but I have used it to fill in. So on the windows, I actually painted the inside and the outside for the simple reason that is some of these windows you're going to be able to see when you take off the roof. Half the roof is going to be detachable. I painted one inside of the freight doors because that will also be seen when the front roof comes off. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and start doing this, and we'll see how it works out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of that window stuff on this white plastic, and I'm going to use a micro brush to install to put it in. Let's see, I think we'll use these ones. I think these are a little bit bigger. Alright, so we'll give this a little shaky shake. And now this will never dry 100% clear. It'll be kind of like have a little bit of a frost to it. And so I'm just going to put a little bit on this plastic here. Just about that much for now. And I will recap it because this stuff tends to dry out pretty quick. And we'll just take some of this and we'll just go ahead and dab it in the window holes. And this is a little bit of a tedious job. I'm going to try and just get it in the holes and not overfill it. And you can see it goes pretty quick. And this will probably take a good 24 hours to dry up. Come on. There you go. You can see when the holes are filled. Again, I'm doing this because these windows are going to be seen when I have the I intend to have half the roof come off. The front half of the station roof will be able to come off the building, so you'll be able to see the interior that I have done for the waiting room. And I also will have some freight stuff to put inside the freight part of the building. You just gotta make sure you just get the hole tight filled. And if it doesn't close the hole up the first time around, you could do it a second time if you need to. Oops. I think I'll pour some of that out there. Some more out there. I'm trying to conserve on this glue, only because I haven't seen it at my local hobby shop for a while now, so I don't know if it's back ordered or because of the COVID or what's going on with that. So I'm trying to be conservative. It's not that I use this on every model, but if I ever do want to, like right now, like this model, I'll have it. Alright, those all look like they're filled in. Now we're just going to do this one door. Again, like I said, if you don't get it filled up on the first time around, you can do it a second time. And it will never dry 100% clear, which is a good thing actually. I think it gives the windows a little bit better look if they're not filled in 100%, if they're not 100% clean. I mean, this is a station and it's out in the open, and the windows are not going to stay clean, that's for sure. Come on, give me some. Now this door may take a bit more to fill up the holes because the holes are bigger. So I may have to do this one a second time. Alright, we'll let that all dry up for now. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but you can see that it's starting to dry up, and some of them you're starting to see the glare off the light. But the freight door I'm going to have to do a couple of times, looks like. Anyhow, now I just hope that all of this masking, I used a Tamiya masking tape that went in between this here. So now the truth will come out to see how good this masking tape actually works. So I'm going to start peeling this off, and let's see what we look like. That looks pretty good actually. Yes, I'm happy with that. Alright. And as you can see, the Tamiya tape worked really well. And this again was an afterthought. Oh, looks like I got a piece of tape in there. Uh-oh. I might have missed. Looks like I might have missed a piece, and now I'm going to have to retape that one little piece. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and unmask all of this, and we can see what the two color combination is, because I did do this in that perfect gray color. And so we'll have to see what this looks like. Stay tuned and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, so this building is totally unmasked now, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. Now I did have to touch up in between all the corbels because the masking tape didn't work as well as I wanted it to, and it might have been my fault for not cutting it 100% properly. This trim on the bottom here that I used was number 114 Evergreen product. I just thought I would give a finishing touch down here. So Matt, I gave you enough green on here. I think that you're going to like this. I can go back and forth on trying to get this perfect 100%, but I'm not going to do that because right now it looks pretty darn good. Now, how did I touch up all the green that wasn't supposed to be where the green's supposed to be? I took some of the spray paint and I did put it into this little container right here. And make sure when you spray it in here, you spray it away from your face, because you will take a bath with this if you don't do it like that. Anyhow, we don't have very much more to do on this model. It's almost done. Got to install all the windows. I got to do the roof. Got to figure out what I'm going to do for the roof. Not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. And also, the next thing I'll show you guys right now is the foundation of this build and what I'm going to do to that to get a little extra detail. So stay tuned and we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright guys, now we're going to move on to the foundation, and here is the foundation. And I don't remember if I showed you guys what that floor looks like, but that didn't come out too shabby, I don't think, for just a little guesswork. Anyhow, I painted this entire thing with this Testors spray enamel, and it's called Flat Light Aircraft Gray. I think it makes a good color for concrete. Anyhow, I did put some cracks and stuff in there. I did groove out the expansion joints, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more detail to this. And what do you mean by that? Well, in the picture that he sent me, you guys can see this, there is a pole back here. It's an electrical pole. So I have, uh-oh, what did I do with it? Uh-oh, oh no, Mr. Bill. What did I do with it? Oh man. Oh, anyhow, let me get back to one thing I started to mention here earlier. I did need to touch up in between these corbels. So I did put it in here and I did seal the container, so it should be good for a little while before it actually dries out. Alright, so let's get that out of the way, get that out of the way. And what did I do with the pole? Oh, here it is, right here in front of my face. Anyhow, this is a pole that I bought a kit quite a while ago. I don't see them where I have them right now. But anyhow, I want to put this in here, and I already drilled the hole for this. But the problem is I have to ship this. So I want to be able to put the pole in there like that. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oops. I guess if it stood up, you'd be able to see it. But I don't want to glue it into the foundation because it might get broken during shipment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up some foliage around there to act as a, I don't know what you want to call it, to act as a brace or whatever. And I'm just going to use some of this olive green underbrush stuff. And I'm just going to put some on here. And just put it around that pole. Kind of like that. Try and get it to stay still. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put some white glue on that. I'm going to just put white glue on the entire package right there. And then what I'll do is I will stick it up from the bottom. Of course the hole does go through. And this way I'll make myself a nice little barrier to hold this pole up. Take some of that away. Okay, just like that. You guys can see that, right? This guy right here. So I'm just going to take some of this white glue, and this is a 50-50. I'm not even going to wet this. You know what? It's probably going to get pretty sloppy. So I'm going to go ahead and take this guy and just put him underneath for now. I'm just going to go ahead and I should. Actually, you know what? Let me go get some wet water and let me wet that so it does what it's supposed to do. I'll be right back. Alright guys, next thing I'm going to do is in some of the cracks and some of the expansion joints, I'm going to add a little bit of foliage in those, and I'm just going to use my regular Model Masters glue for this part, only because I can control how much I want to put in there. And we're just going to put a little bit there and a little bit there, and then we're going to take some of this blended grass, and we're just going to sprinkle it on there. And I'm not worried about getting it over. We can clean that up later. And like I said, I'm only going to do this in a few spots, just to give it just a little bit more detail. I kind of marked out the spots I want to do this in. This, I saw Joey Butzek do this a little detail, and I really liked it because it does give that much more detail to the project that you're doing. Yeah, what else? Do a little bit over here. And by using this glue, I think there's more of a chance of all of this staying on where I want it to stay. And we've got one more there. Alright, so that would be done, and as soon as this here dries up, I'll get that 24 hours. And actually what I could do is I probably could stick the pole in there now just to make the hole. No, that's not a good idea. I'll wait till it dries. Just wait till it dries. Alright, so pretty much the only thing I gotta do now is figure out what I'm gonna do for the roof. I really can't see what kind of roof is in that picture, so I'll have to improvise. And let's see if we can get rid of some of this stuff. Static is making it stick to this plastic. But anyhow, as you can see, let me back this out a bit. As you can see, I got a little bit more detail in the cracks, and all of this is going to have to be swept off later on. I'll just wait for this to dry up 100%. Anyhow, I'm going to take a short break for now. Let stuff dry up, and then I'll kind of figure out what I'm going to do for the roof on this build, because I really have no clue. I just might do my old masking tape trick. Anyhow, stay tuned and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, and we are back. Let me show you what I've accomplished so far on this build. You can see that the windows and doors are totally finished, and actually the clear plastic stuff actually dried pretty clear. If you guys can see through that, I think you can. It looks like you can. Anyhow, that's the doors and windows. I did do some more work on the foundation. As you can see, I've got my pole here, and it's covered up by the foliage on the bottom, and it's hard as a rock because I've just dumped a whole bunch of glue on it. You can see some of the cracks I put in there, and some of the cracks actually have some growth in them. Alright, and then the main building itself is pretty much complete except for the windows and doors. Just one peephole door here is in, and the two doors on the back side are in. All the trim has been painted, all the lower trim is on. I'm going to install this another partition wall to kind of center this wall here, because it just flops around too much, and I know I'm going to glue it down, but I want it to be stronger. I also have decided that I'm going to make this one full piece of roof. I guess maybe I should go over here. All this one piece of roof, and then this is going to be a section from here to here, which is going to be permanent. The only place it's going to be able to be removed is right here where the office or the waiting room is, so you can take it off and show the inside if you want to show the inside. Other than that, everything is going to get glued on, and I decided I wanted to do a corrugated roof, but my hobby shop, my local hobby shop, was out of a lot of evergreen stuff. So what I'm going to do is a steel roof or a metal roof, and you can see those lines right there. I'm going to actually groove those lines out, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. But for right now, let me get all set up with this. I'm going to clear the table off a bit more, and we'll go on from there. Be back in a few. Alright guys, we're back, and I'm going to start doing a little detailing on the outside of the building. I did put all the windows and doors in. That's all complete, and once I get this little detail done, I will start on the roof, and hopefully we'll get it done in this video. Anyhow, the detail parts I'm getting is from Model Tech Studios, and what I had gotten from them, and I saw this on eBay, are power meters. Now I'm going to show you this and show you how small they are and what I have to deal with to make this work. Anyhow, in my hand, I don't know if you guys are going to see that, I don't want it to fall, but if you can see the little white dot, that is the meter right there, and that needs to get cut off of the back of that gray backing that it's on. And so let me show you what that's going to look like after it's cut off of here. Alright, so hang on for a second. I'm going to try and make this so it doesn't fall over, but you guys can see that. That is the breaker box and the meter next to each other. And I'm mounting it on clear plastic because it's easier for me to work with it here. And if I mess up the clear plastic, I don't care. But if I do this directly onto the building and I mess up the building, I'm screwed. So I'm going to use Gorilla Glue to hold these parts on here. So anyhow, wish me luck with this, because I tell you what, that meter is small. I have dealt with some small stuff in N-scale, but this is like really, really small. Anyhow, here we go. I'm going to turn the camera off for a minute and I'll be back. Alright guys, for this next project I'm going to be using this Gorilla Glue, and it's the one that's got the brush on the end plus an applicator on the top. I'm going to use the applicator. I'm going to put a drop on this spare piece of plastic that I have here, and then I will use this micro brush to put the glue onto this clear plastic. And I'm going to mount the clear plastic onto the building, which is good because once it's on the building, it'll blend in. You won't be able to see because the color of the building will come through, and it will look pretty good. I'm also using these guys. Like I said, I worked with some small stuff before, but this meter is really tiny. And I do have some other details I could use on here, but I'm not sure because they are that small or smaller. Anyhow, here we go. Alright guys, I didn't think that went too bad. I'm just going to let it dry up before I do anything else. I'm going to try and do some of the conduit that's involved with this. And I'll be using, they give you this really, in the kit from this company, they give you this real flimsy, I don't know if it's not aluminum because it is magnetic. But once you bend it, you can't unbend it. It always stays with a little bit of a bend to it. So I'm actually going to try and use some of this piano wire that I have for the conduit. It's a lot more stiff, but it's also a lot more hard to work with. So anyhow, I'm going to let this dry up and we'll be back here shortly. And we're just going to do that on all of these lines right here. Just groove them down the back side of the blade. And there's a reason why we're going to be doing this, and I'll show you here as soon as we get these all grooved out. Two or three strokes, that's all you need. You don't need very much. Now on this roof here, there's going to be one section that's going to be removable. And if you guys have been following along on the build that I've been doing for Matt, you'll know that I have built an office or a waiting room inside this depot for him. And I want to just give him that little extra detail. And I want to do this roof tonight so I can get this finished tonight and actually do the final video on this and then move on to my next build, which is for Manny Fernandez. Let's see and catch up on here. Roof panels, Sparky. All right. Now Evergreen sells this as a kit, and the only difference between the Evergreen kit and what I'm doing now is these grooves are already done for you. and you'll pay $11 to have that roof when you can do it for way less than that if you do it the way I'm doing it right now. Yes, it takes time to do it, but the result is way better because you did it. You made it yourself. And that's the good thing about scratch building, is when you get finished with a project, you can pat yourself on the back and say you did it. All right, so now you see me do all the grooves on there. All the grooves are done. You can hear them. You can hear them. Now, the reason for the grooves, first let me show you what the next step is going to be. We're going to use this number 100 evergreen styrene strips, and you can see how thin it is right there. And those are going to go in the grooves to give you the separation for the panels. So the reason for this here, for the grooves, is so when you take your glue, let me back this out just a little bit. So when you take your glue, these will guide your glue so that you don't get it all over the place. And so we're going to do that right now. And you have to be careful because this number 100 is very, very thin, and the glue will eat it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this across the entire thing, like that. And then I'm just going to cut it long, and then later when I'm ready, I will trim it down. So there you go. And we'll just continue on here. I've been using this glue forever, guys, and I tell you what, I really like it. It has never given me any situation, any problems, and so I recommend it if you're going to be doing some scratch builds. In fact, when I do that class, or that whatever you want to call it, when I do that, I will be telling you what type of glue to get. We're going to put that guy on the side for now, and we're going to take another one of these guys out. And you get all of this stuff in the kit, but totally, I mean, if you buy just a regular sheet of plastic, which is $3.89 or something like that, and the styrene strips, which is about $4, you're saving about $5 by doing it this way. And I know $5 is not a lot of money to a lot of guys, but a lot of guys, $5 is a lot of money. All right. Now, guys, remember, I'm not keeping an eye on the chat, so if there's any questions in there, I'll have to answer them tomorrow or whenever this becomes a video. And I'm really hoping that you guys think about doing this scratch building thing. I want to help you guys do this stuff. Do I have glue on there? Don't look like there's any glue on there. Now these are approximately 10 foot sections, and I know that's not prototypical, but because this is a model, it won't look too bad. Now here we have another short piece and a short piece from earlier, and we're going to go ahead and utilize those on these next two pieces. Again, I cut these long so I don't have to waste too much time on measuring them and all. So I just put them on long, and then later on I'll just go ahead and trim them down. All right, so now we got this whole big menage page here. And now we're just going to go ahead and cut all of these guys down, which is very simple. Just put it up against the roof and snip it off, just like that. You'll be able to see what this looks like once it's painted. Then it really stands out to what I am intending it to look like. All right, so now that these are all cut down, and when this dries fully, I will give it a sand down on the edges because they're not 100% close to the deal. When this goes on the building, this roof and this entire section is going to be permanent. This piece here will be able to come off. So he'll be able to show the detail that's going to be inside of there. Anyhow, that's how simple it is to do a metal plate roof. All right, guys, we're going to start off with the update of the build I'm doing for Matt. This is a, let me get the paper first before I say something here that I'm not supposed to say. If I can find it. Yeah, oh, but here it is. This build is a station in Harbor Beach, Michigan. And Matt wanted me to do this for him, and I think I accomplished it pretty well as far as what I can see here in this picture. Anyhow, we'll start off with the front. I am going to give him some details that you see here, like these are a bunch of 55-gallon drums. I'm going to leave the painting up to him. There's a crate here and a stack of dry goods in sacks. The ticket window was done by John Tanzillo for me. He did a really good job on that, including the windows. There is some weathering on the foundation itself, and there's some weathering on the building itself. I put a little mailbox right there. That's pretty cool. I found the mailbox. I had a whole bunch of those. I forgot I had them. I was looking for something else and I found those. And as you come on to this side, as you can see right here, this is the detail parts I showed you guys earlier in this video. They are so tiny, it's unbelievable. I had a hard time just getting the getting this bottom conduit to go from the meter to the breaker box. And then I have a conduit coming up and going into the building right there. The pole will have a line that will go from the top of the pole to the top of this right here to say it's getting electricity from wherever, from the city or whatever. I did put cracks and stuff in the foundation. Like I said, the building has a slight weathering on it. The rear of the building only has 2 freight doors. And this side here is just a pair of windows. Now the reason why I'm not happy with the roof is because, first of all, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but look at how warped it is. And this one also. All 3 of them warped. So I don't know if doing this in separate sections is going to be a good idea or not. But anyhow, let me show you what I did on the inside here. I'll take these roof sections off. And this is where the building really comes to life, when you can see all of this. All the corbels here were done by John Tanzillo again. And also, I just wanted to show you this little bit of, oops. Let me get that guy. Sorry. I just wanted to show you this little feature that I did on the inside here. It's like a waiting room, and I put a couple of benches in there that also from John Tanzillo. And it looks pretty good, I think. Anyhow, if I were Matt, I would leave the entire roof off and just put a bunch of freight on both sides and be done with it. Anyhow, I hope you guys and gals enjoyed this video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 out.